So let us continue the second part from the paragraph 7th. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room, watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hands. "I am going to beat you for this," he said. "Oh, no, no," she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. He pulled them aside. "Sit up," he ordered, "and hold out your hands. You must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you. But it was for your birthday." Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. So Kezia was very much afraid. She was very much frightened. She was crying. She accepted the mistake. In fact, she did not know what were those sheets of paper. Without knowing, she tore those pages and put it in the pin cushion to prepare the gift for her father's birthday. So she expressed her feelings towards her father that I have done it in order to prepare the birthday present for you. But still she got beating from her father, because the father was very much angry, because those sheets of paper were important papers, and those important papers were the speech which he had to deliver in his office. So that's why he was very angry. So that's why he took a ruler, a scale, to beat Kezia. And Kezia was very much frightened. She was really crying. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. So, as we know that she was very much close to grandmother. Grandmother was very loving, caring and comforting. So she only tried to console and comfort Kezia in this moment of sadness to Kezia. So grandmother was trying to comfort Kezia. What did God make fathers for? So Kezia was questioning to grandmother by saying, why God made fathers? What did God make fathers for? Are fathers so bad? Are they so rude? She saw. She was crying. She was questioning that why fathers are made. Here's a clean hanky, darling. Blow your noses. So grandmother gave a handkerchief to clean her nose and to rub her eyes because she was filled with tears. Go to sleep, pet. Here pet is referred to Kezia because she was very dear to grandmother. You'll forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. So grandmother expressed her feelings towards Kezia by saying that I was trying to explain to your father, but your father was very much upset, and that's why he was not ready to listen. But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color flew into her cheeks. So after that incident, Kezia was very much all the more frightened towards her father. Whenever she sees her father, she was very much frightened and her cheeks used to become reddish. So her imagination of her father became very angry figure for her. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag. Tag is a game, a children's game of catching one another. In the evening, the father with the baby Mao on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging on to his coat pockets, ran toward and ran the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. So there was a neighbor, Mr. MacDonald, who had many children. He was very loving, caring and understanding. He was a very jolly person. He was spending time with his children. Children were very happy to spend time with their father. So they were very happy. So Kezia was looking at their activity through a fence from her house. So she was comparing her father with Mr. MacDonald. So she was thinking, how lucky those children are with Mr. MacDonald and how unlucky I am with my father who is so stubborn, so rude towards me. So she was thinking in that way. Then it was she decided there were different sorts of fathers. So from that incident, from MacDonald, she drew a conclusion by saying that there are different sorts of fathers, there are different kinds of fathers in the world. Suddenly, one day, mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice the cook. That was all right in the daytime. So one day, what happened that her mother fell sick. Her mother was admitted in the hospital. Her grandmother also went to accompany her mother to the hospital. So that night she was left alone. So she had to sleep alone and the cook Alice was there, but she made her sleep on her bed and she told Kezia to sleep well and not to disturb her father. But let's see what Kezia will say to Alice. This is the picture of Mr. MacDonald and how the children of MacDonald were playing with him. So children were very happy and they were enjoying, and you can see how Kezia was looking through the fence, how they were playing. So she was feeling very jealous towards them. So but while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. So when at night Alice was preparing the bed and making her sleep, that time she was very much afraid. That time Kezia was getting afraid because she was thinking, who will listen to me, who will protect me at night? Because she used to see bad dreams, frightening dreams. So she was scared about it. What will I do if I have a nightmare? Nightmare means bad dream. She asked. I often have nightmares, and then granny means grandmother, takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice, pulling off her socks. And don't you scream and wake your poor pa. So Alice told Kezia not to disturb her father because it will be a sort of disturbance for her father. But Kezia was very much afraid that who will take care of her during the night. But the same old nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and a rope, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful, frightening smile, while she could not move, could only stand still. Stand still means remaining in one place. She was seeing this dream, crying out, "Grandma, Grandma!" She woke shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. "What's the matter?" he said. So at night when she saw a dream, a butcher with a knife and a rope coming nearer to her, and she was standing still, standing in one place. She was crying out. So she started crying, taking the name of Grandma, Grandma. At that point of time, her father had already come near her bed with a candle. And father asked, "What's the matter? What happened to you?" Like this, he questioned to Kezia. "Oh, a butcher, a knife." Then Kezia said, there is a butcher, oh, a butcher, a knife. I want granny, I want my grandmother, she said. He blew out the candle, bent down and caught up the child in his arms. So the father bent down and blew the candle and took Kezia in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. He lay down beside her. So father also slept beside Kezia, half asleep, still with the butcher's smile all about her. It seemed she crept. Crept means just coming closer to, trying to hold her father. She crept close to him, to her father. Snuggle means move into a warm, comfortable position. Snuggle her head under his arms, held tightly to his shirt. So Kezia was comforted by her father's warmth. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still. So when she was sleeping beside her father, holding her father tightly, and her father also told her to rub her legs between his legs to warm up his body. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. So she was experiencing something different at that night. She was gradually experiencing the love of the father whom she was considering as a frightening figure, a dangerous man, seems to be very loving, caring and understanding at this point of time. Her perception about her father is changing now. Tired out, he slept before the little girl. Father was also very much tired, and he also slept beside Kezia. A funny feeling came over her. So poor father, not so big after all, and with no one to look after him, he was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness, and every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. MacDonald. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stood up suddenly and sighed. Sighed means took a deep breath. What's the matter? Asked the father. Another dream. Oh, said the little girl, my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear. So the story ended well. The wrong conception of Kezia turned out to be a very good understanding about her father. In the beginning she was frightened. She was frightened about her father. But now she understood the warmth of love of his father. So she was feeling pity for her father. She was saying that poor father, she was working day and night, she was working so hard, and he was little harder than grandmother, but he is a very good man. He's a good father, very loving, understanding and caring father. So now she realized that her father was a really good man because he was not able to give his time to Kezia like Mr. MacDonald, but he is a good man. So her conception of badness changed to goodness. So she realized that her father also is a loving man. So this chapter is written by Catherine Mansfield. So let me take you to the picture. Let me take you to the picture. Let me show you some pictures. Yes. And the word meanings. See, I have jotted down some word meaning for you. I will be showing this. So you can see this glossary. Figure to be feared. A person to be feared. Glad sense of relief means feeling relaxed. Fainter and fainter. Fainter and fainter. To lessen or reduce. Slip down. Come down quietly and unwillingly. Stutter. To stammer. To speak with pauses. Given it up. Stopped doing it. Trying so hard. Making a lot of efforts. Wretched. Unhappy. Sad. On the brink of suicide. About to commit suicide. Suicide. Kill oneself. Snoring. The sound produced by some people when they are asleep. Gravely means serious. Gravely means serious. Seriously. Stare, looking with fixed eyes, laboriously with a lot of efforts or difficulty. Went into, by chance, moving here and there. scraps small pieces of cloth or paper, etc. that are not needed. Hue and cry, angry protest. The damn thing used to express anger at something. Shadowed room means that as it was dark, there was a light outside the room which was making shadows in the room. A sad little pattern refers to the sad atmosphere in the room. Bed clothes refer to the sheets, the top sheets that you cover yourself when you are sleeping. Clung, to attach yourself to something. Nightmare, a bad dream. A butcher is a person who cuts animals, who cuts meat. Tucked up, covered up nicely in bed. Snuggled, moved into a warm, comfortable position close to another person. So these are some of the glossary. So you should go through this glossary for the better understanding of the chapter. Word meanings are very important to know about the chapter. Now I will show you some pictures based on the chapter. Like you can see this chapter here, you can imagine that this is the father and this is Kezia. She was not loved, but at the end she realized that her father also is a loving man. So you can see the picture here. You can see the grandmother's picture, Kezia, and you can see the scene of tearing the pages by Kezia, and you can see the father shouting at Kezia. So you can imagine. And here you can see the picture of MacDonald playing with his children. Kezia was upset. Kezia was sleeping when her mother was admitted in the hospital. You can see this kind of pictures and visualize for yourself. Hope you have understood the lesson. I want you to read, watch the videos and listen carefully and understand it. Thank you.